Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Ask Julius Show. I am your host, Greg Nyman Jr. I'm an intuitive that has had the opportunity and privilege of working with Kasey, Julius, and the team for a number of years. With us, of course, is Kasey Speer, the conduit channel for the Ascended Masters group known as Julius. Julius has reached the highest level of consciousness through the human experience, and they are here to help us with our conscious journey. For those of you that are new to this platform, this is a rapid fire format. You can literally ask Julius anything under the sun, but please keep in mind we are not medical professionals or financial advisors. This is for entertainment purposes only, quote unquote. And anything that is too personal of nature would be better suited with either a private reading or a private question asked to Julius. You can send those to support, and Sue and JC will totally be able to guide you in the right direction on that. Please like and share this program. Like us on all the platforms. Check out our website at channelingjulius.com. Hey, Kasey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling groovy.
Groovy. You look groovy.
I does my shirt look groovy? It looks like Laugh-In. So anybody who used to watch the show Laugh-In with the big flowers on the backboard, that's what it reminded me of when I got it. It was like in the 60s, like with the program Laugh-In. So I'm feeling kind of groovy. Are you feeling groovy, Greg Nyman Jr.?
I am. I think that shirt's from Soul Train. I'm thinking maybe 1962 or 65.
64. It's 64. Welcome in, everybody, to the show. We are so glad that you are here. Looking forward to working with all of you tonight. So, for those of you who didn't quite catch what Greg said, I am a channel. I am a channel. So, I am channeling a group known as Joyous. That's what all of this conversation is about. We sometimes get questions after everything goes to real on Instagram and TikTok and our social media platforms. And obviously it's hitting a very, very, very broad market and not necessarily people who watch the show. So I don't even know in saying this right here makes a difference, but many people are like, how does she know this information? And where does she get this information from? I am channeling. So that's where this information is coming from. So that's why I wanted to support. So all of you, I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. Julius provides courses and classes for your conscious journey to get everybody moving, all those really, really tough issues. They have been human. They've ascended through the human experience. So it's very relatable for them to deal with all of the same issues that you deal with as humans. So that's what I do, is I channel Julius. And we do that in many, many, many different ways. All kinds of processes and private sessions, as well as teachings. And this show, which is actually kind of just designed to give you guys a little sample of all of that. Plus enjoy, some interactiveness with Julius. And also on this platform now, we've changed it up over the years. And now, of course, we're very blessed to have Greg Nyman Jr. as our host. And Greg has his many talents himself as well. And if you stick around for the whole entirety of the show, Greg's gonna send everybody out with a big bang with some card sessions for everybody. So Greg is a master card artist. Your artistry with your card readings, Greg Nyman Jr.
Well, thank
And
you for
he'll
that.
get to that near the end of the show. So stick around and you'll have the opportunity to get some information from Greg as well. So we like to start the show off with some crystals. Greg likes to give everybody some crazy information. Did you have a good weekend, Greg
I,
Nyman Jr.?
I did have a good weekend. It was, entertaining. It was fun. As always, we went out and played 9 holes of golf today, and
Shebang.
It was a beautiful day. Miss Kasey is getting to be quite the golf shark. We didn't keep score at first because Kasey thought I was that much better than her, and now we don't keep score because I don't want her to know how much better she is.
That's not true. That's not true. Greg's a master instructor. He's been playing golf his whole life. We have fun. It's all good. It's all good. Sunday morning golf. We hope all of you have had an amazing weekend. And this is, of course, the start of a new week. It is Sunday evening here in the U.S. And it may already be Monday for some of you across the world, or maybe you're still on Saturday across the world. But here we're starting off a brand new week, and we love to start our week with everybody, right? Sunday nights are the best.
Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody's loving your shirt. We do have a new person, I think, Sunjin Lee from South Korea.
Wow.
Welcome, welcome. That's awesome. Your question about how you get the classes, I would either check out the website, channelingjulius.com, or email support@channelingjulius.com. Either way would be a really good way to, you know, figure out what would work best for you and things of that nature. The support team is amazing and
Amazing.
they would be able to guide you. I would say probably something really good to start with would be the 7 levels of consciousness expanded. That's a really good, really good class that will serve you no matter who you follow or what your belief system is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, welcome in. It's exciting. You're in great company with our audience, most amazing people, sending love, of course, to all of you and to people who are going to be viewing these reels. Thank you so much for all your likes, your shares, of course, your comments. Keep us engaged. Our snippets come from this show. So as you guys engage and ask Julius questions, those get made into short reels. Those, of course, get out on all of our social platforms. Please sign up for our social platform. Look for Channeling Julius for everything, right, Greg?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're in the
Comments.
millions and millions and millions of views on the reels and the videos and reels. It's just amazing as everybody keeps that momentum up for us. We're so very blessed. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People are telling you that you look beautiful, you look amazing as always. Lots of love for your shirt. Love it, love it, love it.
And Greg, you've got your cool steampunk hat on again. And do I see some tarot cards? Just like a card shark, you've got your tarot cards on the other side. There you go.
Yes, ma'am. Sure
We got to
do.
get Greg a peacock feather. I gotta send away and get him a peacock feather for
Love
his steampunk hat.
it. Love
All right.
it.
All
Love
right. Well, everybody, you are allowed to submit your questions, of course, through YouTube. You're watching us live on our YouTube channel. Just a heads up, we have more than one YouTube channel. We also have Awakening Network. You can see the two symbols behind Greg on either top corners. Those are what you're looking for as far as what they look like. Yeah. And sometimes we get banned on our Channeling Julius because of the information that Joyce provides. And so if ever that's the case, we're always here on Sunday nights. And if we're not showing up on our Channeling Julius, pop over to Awakening Network. That's where we would be while we're on timeout.
it. Yes, absolutely.
we try to we try
Absolutely.
to make it so we can bounce around and give everybody options, right?
Love it. Light shines. Thank you for joining us on vacation. We love having you here live.
Wow.
She's live today, so she can join, or she's on vacation, so she can join live.
Wow. Fantastic. Fantastic. How exciting. We want to be on vacation with you. I guess we're virtually on vacation with her, right?
We are. We're on vacation by proxy.
Score. Score.
Hopefully, you're doing something very fabulous.
Yeah. Fabulous. All right. Well, have you got some crystals to share with everybody tonight, Greg?
I do. I
All
do. And
righty.
thank you for that sunny day. Okay, where shall we start? We shall start with this little dude. This is Unikite. Unikite. Unikite is a stone of, let me focus here. Too many things going on. It's a type of granite with epidote and quartz inclusions. It's for self-love, empathy, enhancement, enlightening, expanding your awareness, fertility and pregnancy. So you may or may not want that in your bedroom. Just saying.
I have a question really quickly. So once you were talking about anything that ends in "ite," so this is unikite, but I can't remember what you said about anything that ends in "ite." Do you remember what you said about that?
Yes, anything that ends in "ite," by and large, you don't want to put in water. Like, I mean, you can rinse it off, but you don't want to soak it or anything like that. You just want to spritz it and then wipe it off because it will break down in water, like pyrite, kunzite, selenite. They will all break down in water. Unakite is a hard stone as well. But
Okay.
this guy is polished pretty well, so you probably could put him in water, but I wouldn't. Just saying, just because you don't want your crystals breaking up, or maybe you do. I don't know. The next one is called septarian. This is a septarian nodule. Super.
Okay, you need to say that all again. All again.
A septarian nodule.
Is that the fish poop?
Yes. So these brown things will glow yellow under UV light. Uh, Septarian nodules are only found in two places in the world, and that is Utah and Madagascar. You can tell the difference between the two is this one is from Utah because the banding is brown. The one from Madagascar, the banding is black.
Okay. And when I made the comment fish poop, explain to everybody what that means, please.
It's fossilized fish poop.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. It is basically fish poop and dead crustaceans. Like it's basically mud at the bottom of, whatever. The ocean, a lake, whatever. It's just sedimentary rock, but super cool sedimentary rock.
All right. Yeah, I remember the first time somebody handed me one of those. I think we were doing a live event up there in Salt Lake, and I thought it was cool sitting in their cabinet, and so they let me hold it. I actually held it for the class. The channeling was pretty intense. I don't think I knew till afterwards that they told me it was fossilized fish poop. I was like, well, there you go, right? Of course, that just sticks in your brain, when you hear that. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, like divinite is, yeah, it grows on dead things.
Right, right.
Yeah, you don't forget that sort of stuff. Very interesting. It's a root chakra stone. It's resolution, motivation, nourishment, and rejuvenation, past life, relaxation, self-discovery, stuff like that. Very healing, very transformative, helps with stress relief and all of that fun stuff. And then this little dude, this little dude looks kind of boring, but he's really not. This is called upralite or upralite or UV reactive sodalite, even though it's not blue. Uh,
Oh,
Basically, he will glow bright orange, like there'll be little orange specks all over him with a UV flashlight. Something really fun to do with the kids, or just I think it's fun, is to go after rainstorm or after the snow melts, if you have snow like in spring, you can walk down riverbeds with the UV light and it'll be everywhere and you can just pick it up.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
super fun stone. It's calming, balance, helps with cellular regeneration, self-confidence, helps your skeletal system. It helps overall body, mind, and spirit.
I need that all over my face.
No, I really don't think you do. It's a throat chakra stone. It when you hold it, it'll be like a little warming presence in your kind of like holding like a hot pad after you got something out of the oven, so it's a little bit warm and calming. But yeah, it's a very calming, very fun, very peaceful stone.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. You know how I like to hold my crystals up on my face?
Yes,
I need to hold that one on my face. Yeah.
I will let you do that if that's
All right. Well, thank you so much for the info. Always something very cool from Greg with all his crazy, crazy collection that he shares with us. And if you have some questions about the crystals that you want to pop in during the show, you're welcome to do that as well. Greg is always there to answer questions for you guys.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, without further ado, are you ready to go?
I think I am. I think I'm ready.
Are you Freddy?
I am. I was born ready. Are you ready, Roy? I was born ready.
Gosh. Okay.
Look, are you ready? Watch.
We're ready? Ready?
I've got my tassels. I'm ready.
You are ready. Your
Do you
entire
know
get
why? I just had a whole cup of ceremonial matcha.
that's why you're all amped up. Your tire is getting more and more interactive with you. First it was puppy sleeves, now we're up to tassels.
We're at the tassels.
Who knows
But
what
the cats like to play with the tassels, so I have to take them down a notch, or I trip on them. If they get bothersome after a while. You're only really good for about 5 minutes. And you're like, why are these here? Okay, they're bugging me.
Well, we're all entertained by them, just saying.
Right, right.
Okay, all right. First question is from Marzena. Are there strategies, exercises, and techniques you could recommend to assist with dislodging trauma from our bodies / getting energies unstuck to support holding higher vibrations?
Yes, but you have to understand a few things, Master K. Yes, there are things that you can do to move energy through the body so that it will pass through the body and not get deeply rooted in the body on a cellular level. Having said that, the reason that they are there on a cellular level is you haven't dealt with the trauma and you haven't dealt with what is the root cause of the trauma. And we aren't talking about the incident. We're talking about what is in you that created the situation that was traumatizing. And that gets very, very deep into trauma therapy as well as grief therapy, because you're not just holding trauma, you're holding grief. Because whenever anything traumatic happens in our body, it rocks your reality. It shakes your reality. And you will go into grief over your reality. You'll grieve your previous reality prior to the trauma, because once the trauma happens, your whole world changes. Then not only that, but you'll grieve the life that you were trajected with energetically, that now will take a turn and go a different direction. So you don't just have trauma, you have grief that is stored. But again, trauma is not the event that took place. It's what is the seed aspect within you that created the traumatic event. We just did a class on this. You can check it out on the website, that will help you. So if you are not dealing with that, that energy is just going to stay stuck, Master, because no matter how much energy you try to physically project as movement, your emotions are what store or clear things in a true essence, and that is a truth. So if you're not dealing with trauma therapy and grief therapy, you're not going to be able to move that grief and that trauma. It has to work simultaneously. There's a whole system of healing that really is necessary. So that's the first thing that we want to tell you. So if you are not dealing with your grief, if you are not dealing with your trauma, we don't mean just trying to forget it. And we don't mean just trying to deal with heartbreak. And we don't mean just letting time dissipate the energy of it. That's not working your healing. That's avoidance, okay? Then you're going to keep that vibration stuck in your body on a cellular level because you're not dealing with it. In the simultaneous action of dealing with that and healing yourself, all forms of regular body movement and breath work always helps to move energy through your body, always. You need to include both yin and yang energy in your life every single day, because it's the balance between those two energies that moves your energetic field the most efficiently. It's very important that you understand you need both. If you are only doing yang, you're going to grind yourself down to a pulp, and that ends up being low frequency. So you need to balance both movement and activity and quiet and meditative and peaceful. Those two things will help bring your body into balance. But again, if you are not dealing with it, it's not going to move very much, because if you're not dealing with healing trauma and healing grief, Masters, it's always playing in the background. It's always on the back of your mind. It affects your perspective, it affects your decisions, and your nervous system is always taxed when you are not dealing with your healing. That's a great t-shirt. Your nervous system is always taxed when you're not dealing with your healing, okay? And that's going to be the regulator that keeps low frequencies trapped in your physical costume.
Love it. All right, next question is an offline question from Stephanie, and it's got a bit to it. So
say that again. It's got what?
It's got a bit to it, so it'll be a little bit of a long one. Julius, I have questions about preparing for the RV. I notice that parts of me keep viewing it as the thing that will finally bring freedom, security, and a completely different life. Intellectually, I know that true freedom is an inner state, yet I still catch myself placing a lot of hope and expectation on something outside of me. How do we prepare for the RV without becoming attached to it as a source of our happiness or salvation? How do we stay in resonance, trust, and inner sovereignty while allowing the mindset that everything will change when this happens? I'd love your perspective on balancing practical preparation and staying open to the possibility without making it the source of my freedom. Thank you.
Yeah, so what you're doing, Master, is you're projecting to the future for your happiness and your freedom. That's not living in the now. That's not living in the now. And so to not only bring that energy more forthcoming to you in a rapid state, you've got to work most of your life from living in the now. So it's perfectly all right to look forward to something that you are manifesting. Absolutely. We want you to look forward to something that you are manifesting. We want you to be manifesting with enthusiasm, adventurism, creativity, anticipation, joy, and happiness. So there's absolutely nothing, quote unquote, wrong with doing that. The issue is if that is keeping you from enjoying your nows. That's the issue, okay? So you need to find a totality of presence in your life in finding your joy, freedom, happiness, adventurism, and creativity in your present moment, and include those energies in your manifestation. So you're not lacking in all of those emotions right now, and you're just always looking to something in the future for that to be your reality. Then you're just constantly going to be pushing it to the future, constantly pushing it to the future, because your perspective is that it's in the future. So then you will manifest it for it to remain in your future. Does that make sense? Okay? So it's got to be inclusive in your state of being now. Okay? So your mindset would be, my joy is my life now, in all of my essence, of all of the love, the wellness, the opportunities that I continue to create for myself in every moment of now, my broad perspective, my radiance, my resonance, okay? And inclusive in all that I am now is past, present, and future. So I project this into my past, that all is well and beautiful and resonating and full of possibility and creativity there. I project it into what I will manifest in my next moment for myself as well. But what I'm going to manifest in my next moment is coming from the resonance energy that I'm in right now. Do you understand what we just said? You cannot fuel your future with something you don't hold now. We may have just said the most profound thing that any of you have ever heard.
Absolutely.
Okay? So you're conjuring of everything that you are looking forward to emotionally when the reevaluation occurs that sits in your bank account. You need to conjure that emotion now in order to fuel it accurately. Otherwise, you don't understand that you're pushing it off, because all you're thinking about is feeling like that when that happens. You're not focused on feeling that now. Okay? And the yourself in all frequency doesn't understand time, because time doesn't exist. So when you speak in your manifestation, you are always speaking from your current state, present moment. Present as in right now, current as in frequency, currency. And the gift of all that you are. So we do want you all to be very enthusiastic as you manifest for your lives. But that enthusiasm has to come from how you are feeling now, not how you hope you're going to feel when. Okay?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Next question from the flourishing group. Is the Kennedy family satanic? Why are so many of them tragically killed off, in quotes? Love you both.
Master, there are 13 family bloodlines that mostly have the control of the Earthship, but there are 7 other bloodlines behind them. The Kennedy family is in the 13. They have bloodline tracked to the 13, so we'll call the ones that are on stage in the forefront. Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. You have to understand, Masters, one of the things that nobody seems to be getting a full grip on, all of them that have the fame, the prestige, the power in any way are in it. You just seem to want to exclude certain ones. They wouldn't be where they are if they weren't in it. Okay, you've got to get your heads wrapped around this. Okay, celebrities, politicians, sports figures, religious leaders, okay? They're in it, okay? Because that's all that it is to be in those positions. You don't understand that those industries are created by the Satanists. There isn't any part of it that isn't in it. Do you understand that? Should we say that again? They're created by the Satanists. It's all in it. And nobody wants to talk about that. Oh, I'm an actor, but I'm not in it. Oh, yes, you are, because you're in the organization that is satanic. It's literally like saying, oh, I'm just not in the Satan religion because, you know, I haven't personally murdered anybody, but, you know, it's what I do for a living. We're like, then that's blood money. Okay? Nobody wants to really swallow all of this because everybody's world would be rocked. You wouldn't know what to do with your free time for entertainment. You wouldn't know what to do to make the connections for your advancement. Okay? You wouldn't know what to do to identify yourselves in relationship to worship. Okay? Everybody wants to find this separateness pieces, masters, and you don't understand that the industries that you're speaking of are satanic. And there's no not being in that energy if you're in that industry. Are you listening to us? And we're telling you, all of you that are in that industry, no matter what position you hold, are you listening to us? Oh, I'm just a writer. Oh, I'm just a set director. Oh, I'm just an insurance agent. Oh, I just write policies. Oh, I just hand out scripts. You're in it. Okay? Yes, the Kennedys are in it. They're all in it. They're all in it. Period. Those that are trying to take it down and dismantle it are not part of those families. Be assured of that.
Next question is from Hilda B. What is the frequency / level of consciousness of classical music from famous composers such as Mozart, Beethoven, Vivaldi, and Bach? There are no lyrics, so what influences the frequency of it?
They're all brainwashing and hypnotic spell casting tones and mathematical calibrations. That's what we're telling you. Did we mention that the Cabal and the Satanists control all the music? Did we mention that? Yeah.
What can you say about the Rothschilds and Rockefellers switching the frequency of music from?
Oh, it happened long before them. It happened long before them. Okay, they're just the scapegoats for it. So we're going to say this with honor, with love and honor, with respect to everybody. Okay, the Satanists took away instruments. They took away the way that music was played as soon as they figured out how brainwashing and neural connectors to sound work, which was long, long before there were recordings of any kind, okay? Live music was used as slavery and brainwashing and hypnosis. We're about to talk about all of this on the John Burgo Show coming up this week and assist you in releasing your neuroconnectors. So those hertz range changed even before the Rockefellers got a hold of it. We're going to support. You've been limited on the information of what frequencies are beneficial for you and which are not. Healing frequencies are 500 and above. 500 and above. That's what we're going to support. Okay?
Love it. Wendy Paula is asking, is there any evidence that the bright lights we see in the sky and identify as Jupiter and Venus could be galactic ships instead of planets?
Well, we don't know what you mean by proof, okay? We're not going to send you up to one of them, which is probably the proof that you're looking for. We're telling you that there is traffic jams of activity out in your atmosphere. Constantly. All you have to do is watch them move around at night in a dark sky where you can see all of those lights, okay? But here's the other thing. Everything's moving. Everything is moving. There isn't anything that's in your atmospheric condition that stands still. Not planets, not suns or moons or nothing is standing still. Nothing is standing still. All of your planets are ships, and what we call this an Earth ship because it's a spaceport that holds and houses life formations to experience themselves as source. That's what everything in your atmosphere, universes, galaxies, omniverses, teraverses are. They're all spaceports. They aren't just floating around material. They all have a consciousness to them. They all have a purpose to them. And we consider them all to be ships in the sense that they hold and house life. So that's what we will say.
Next question. Julius, in a nearby neighborhood, I kept noticing a large 4-story Masonic looking but not quite Masonic temple. As I drove by, I noticed visually that all 3rd and 4th-story windows were either cemented in or painted over. I started noticing the tiny jail or holding cell type 1 first floor rooms had tiny 6-inch by 6-inch windows, much smaller than a jail or prison standards, and some were cemented in altogether. It became clear that this was being used for some sort of nefarious purpose just 2 blocks from a sports stadium or arena, and I was guided to send the building intense love energy every time I drove by. Within a few months, it was evacuated with 3rd and 4th floor doors flung wide open and a moving van parked below. What was occurring here? What was happening here with my guidance and subsequent evacuation? Can anyone assist by sending intense love and energy to a nefarious site? Many blessings and thanks.
Yeah, so everything's a satanic ritual. So it's a building of where they're doing sacrifices and they're doing rituals. It's long been that way. So things are being deconstructed, taken down, exposed. That's all great news. Your energy output cannot be any more than what your energy is. So we would tell you that you have to raise your own frequency in order to send positive frequency. Please do so. It's actually a naturally occurring thing. You don't even have to intend to send it with too much effort. Your energy touches everything that exists because you're source. Because you're source. But if it pleases you to feel that it takes your intention to send it, then go ahead and do that practice. But your own energy has to be high in order to assist in that energy shifting and changing. Just remember, you cannot produce what you are not authentically yourself in your frequency state. But we do encourage everybody to have loving thoughts, high vibrational, open-minded states of beingness, and to not be thinking that what you are dealing with is bad, because when you do, you're judging it, which puts you in a low frequency state. So make sure it is just the isness that brings you joy to share and spread light upon it all.
Love it. Next question from Flower Drew. Hello, what is the energy behind being a workaholic, whether at home or a place of employment? Thank you.
You're an emotional avoidant. Alcoholism is a distraction from emotions. You're an emotional avoidant.
Hold
A
on.
workaholic is.
Oh, okay. Workaholic.
Okay. So a workaholic is the action of an emotional avoidant, and that is the truth, which usually comes from trauma. It usually comes from trauma. Okay.
Love it. Next question from Hilda B. Can we generate high frequency music with AI if we input lyrics about oneness and everybody being source?
No, at this time, AI is not set for high frequency. It's control. It's set for control and manipulation.
Love it. Next question from Manti. What is the hype in regards to Elon Musk's SpaceX, especially in the regards of it going public in the markets?
What is the purpose of what about Elon's SpaceX? What are they asking?
The hype about it, like why so much? Why is it hyped up so much? I think is our question.
Everything's a distraction. Everything's a distraction. So Elon Musk is no longer alive. There is a person standing in as Elon Musk that's a puppet for organizations that are trying to expose, many, many, many things. Okay, and that is the truth. They're trying to expose the nefarium behind NASA, which is all about reptilians and Freemasonry and Satanism. And so that space program is a type of revealment, and they're just utilizing the celebrity of that person to ease the pain of disclosure, like most of them are. Most of them are just actors playing a role to assist in disclosure. That's what we will say. Hype is just nothing more than propaganda, but they're got to use hype to help with disclosure and revealment as well, Master. They can't keep it they need hype. They need hype for the revealment. So that's what we would say.
Love that. Carl says Kasey always looks amazing. Decify is asking Julius, can you tell us about artificial insects? Are the Google mosquitoes part of these? Bless you.
Excuse us, say that again. Are the Google mosquitoes what?
Part of the artificial insects. They're asking about artificial insects.
Yeah, they've been out for a while. They've been out for at least 100 years or more. Actually, we'll say up to 1,000 years they have been genetically modified. That's part of how they spread plague and things like that. So they've been altered for quite a while. What they did, of course, early on was, they gathered a whole bunch of them together and fed them certain things, and then they became carriers. Now they're actually just manufactured in laboratories and things like that, and they're genetically modified. But you're genetically modified as well to attract them. You know that, right? Okay. So humans, in their natural state, without your DNA manipulated, do not attract bug bites. So you've all been manipulated, your DNA has been manipulated, and you have things in your bloodstream and in your skin that attract these bugs to bite you, and it massively affects your histamine count in your body, and that's what makes the bites, irritating and irritable, and things like that, and then also makes it so that you can contract viruses, from them. So it's a whole system. It's not just the bugs themselves. They need to make sure that you're going to be a magnet for those bugs. And so they're doing that all the time by all the poisons that they're putting in you. So it's a dual system, but it's been there for quite a while.
It's time to talk about the specials for today. If I can click on the right buttons. Look at that. I think I'm a professional. All right, two-part class coming up starting this week. I believe it is Monday, starting tomorrow, because of the Beyond the Ordinary show on Thursday. So it'll be Monday and Wednesday instead of Tuesday and Thursday. So this is how to play the game of life on Earth.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun class, a really fun class. It's going to provide some real insight and practical applications, basically how to make life more in a directive energy path of what you authentically set yourselves up to be here, which is joyous and creative, where everything has become, fear has become such a distraction. The altered ego has taken over, absolutely taken over the human experience, and everybody has forgotten how to play the game. It has gotten so convoluted and so destructive and so distorted. So we're going to bring you back to some very, very hopeful insights and help to guide you in a more empowered state about all that you choose to experience here.
Love it. Love it. Vendina is saying the last class helped me so much. Thank you, Julius and Kasey. I heard the warning and deep dived into a childhood wound that I didn't realize was causing many issues. Time to heal. Very grateful. Amazing, amazing. We love that for you. Right. Next question from Cat 55. How does our consciousness evolve, and what is a good way to go about it?
Yeah, well, we take you on those very practical journeys with all of our teachings, masters. That's what we can tell you. The answer is not here. We tell you you get to drop judgment of all thought, okay? You get to love yourself completely, and you get to accept the truth that you are source. That's it. That's your answer. But how do you do that in a practical way when you are saturated with distraction, programming, fear on this earthship? All of our courses and classes will literally guide you on how to do that. But we suggest that you find ways to do those three things if you're not going to come with us. But that's your answer. Those three things.
Love it. Love it. All right. Next question from Elizabeth Wolf. Is there any other reason for the UFC performance on the White House lawn? And where is David Wilcox? Thank you.
We are not going to disclose to you where David Wilcox is for obvious reasons, for safety reasons. So we're absolutely not going to disclose that to you. And it's a representation, it's a metaphorical representation of the war that is going on. That's literally what that is. They're showing you how dirty, nasty, and unpredictable the war has been. That's what they're showing you.
Love it. Love it. Next question from Tammy W. I am at the start of my animal communicator journey. I would be grateful if you had any suggestions of what I can do to help myself get further along with that.
Well, Master, you need to stop doubting yourself, and you need to learn to go with your initial thought and emotion when you're communicating. Your very, very first ones, no matter how outlandish they are, that's what you get to learn. No matter how outlandish, you got to get yourself out of the way from trying to figure out whether what you're saying is going to make sense to the person. You have to get out of that way. We're going to give you an example. So this is a perfect example for you. So we know somebody who is very, very talented in animal communication, very talented. In fact, she should have just gone 100% in that direction on her spiritual practitioner work, but she kind of juggled it with many, many different things. She was so gifted at it. We're going to give you an example of how gifted she was and how she delivered the message, no matter how nonsensical it sounded, because she knew to go with the very first thing that she was being hit with. And then, of course, we were blown away, or the people sitting at the table were blown away of how absolutely accurate she was and why. Okay, so Kasey had a parrot rescue sanctuary in Utah. Parrots, okay, specializing in parrots. She had over 50 parrots at her property, and she had acquired a beautiful macaw, so a brand new, beautiful, beautiful Harlequin macaw named Boomy, and she had brought him into her home, and she was working with Boomy, and all of the animals are traumatized, and all of them have many, many different things, and working with them and providing emotional enrichment for them. And one of the key components of course is bonding and making a connection. And Kasey didn't feel like she was really bonding with Boomy, that there was something up. She couldn't figure out, how to get to him, how to nurture him, how to really make a connection. So she was at dinner with this friend of hers, and very far away from the property, in a completely different state. And they're sitting there at dinner, and everybody's having a really great time, and we're channeling and we're providing information for this person. And Kasey says to this friend of hers, I would really love to try to bond with Boomy, and I'm not sure what's holding him back. And this practitioner, Lori, says, well, can I see a picture of him? So Kasey showed her pictures of Boomy on her phone. And Lori said, she's literally focused, and she said, this true story, she says, was he raised in a zoo? And Kasey said, no, he was not raised in a zoo. And Lori said, are you sure about that? And Kasey said, no, he absolutely was not raised in a zoo. She knew his history, where he had come from. And Lori says, because he's very, very worried about these animals, these zoo animals, okay, like rhinoceros and monkeys and elephant. He's very concerned for them, very worried. Like there's something going on where he is so worried about these animals. And Kasey was like, okay. And she just sat there, and Lori was like, I'm sorry, but that's the vision that I'm getting. And I'm getting this intense stress level for him in regards to this wildlife animals. And so they sat there, and Kasey goes, oh my God. I play the Animal Planet programming on the television for him during the day when I'm gone at work. And Lori said, yeah, don't do that. He's worried about all of those animals on TV. Like, where would that come from, right? Where would that come from? So, the Animal Planet went off the television, and guess what? His stress level went down. Okay? Like, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so Lori knew, she said, this is going to sound really weird, but this is what I'm picking up. And this is long distance. She's not even in the room with this bird, okay? This is long distance, but she trusted what she saw. She just said, I'm telling you, this is what I'm getting, and that's it. And she was dead on accurate, okay? So you get to learn with intuitive work, intuits, channels, intuits of any kind get communicators of any kind, mediums, psychics, okay, learn that whatever they're hit with, no matter how outlandish, go with it. Go with it. Even if initially the person disagrees with you, we're telling you that's how you hone it, and you're always right. You're always right, okay? That's how to master anything, master, is your trust in your own self and in your own insights. You aren't looking for validation from other people. If you are, you're going to stifle yourself because other people don't have that much awareness. That's why they would be talking to you. Okay? You have to learn to trust yourself. Greg had to learn that lesson about himself. He spews stuff out and during readings, and people will actually get angry at him for some of the stuff that he says that he senses or that he sees, and sure as heavens, a year later, they'll come back and go, oh my gosh, you were right about blah, 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 blah. And he holds steadfast to it. He's like, okay, well, maybe he could very easily go, oh gosh, I guess I'm wrong. I guess I'll stop saying anything. I think I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm a failure. I think I'll go another direction. No. We told him and others, and he knew himself, whatever you're hit with, trust it. Trust it. If you can't do it, that you will not be successful. You'll stifle yourself and you'll just degrade your own self out of something that you shouldn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next question from Sunji Jin Lee. Sorry for the stupid question. First of all, there's no such thing. Second of all, who is Julius and who are the masters?
Yeah, you are masters. You are the masters of your realities and your experiences. You are source. All is source. Master, you could go to our website, Channeling Julius, and get more insight as to the storyline. We are an Ascended Masters group that has walked through the Earth ship just like you on our journey into consciousness. The name Julius comes from the last physical character that we embodied on this Earth ship before we ascended, hence the name that comes through. But we are source, just as you are. You are all the masters of your realities, and that is the truth.
Love it. Lilac is asking, Masters, is commanding my crown chakra to open up a good way to receive unlimited thought? Thank you.
You have to get yourself away from judgment of unlimited thought, Master. That is the truth. Your chakra doesn't make a decision as to what you receive. Your level of consciousness does. Should we say that again?
I think that's a bumper sticker.
Yeah. Your chakras don't make those decisions. They are not separate from you. And you don't rely on any point of energy to understand fully all that you are, because you are all thought, Master. You do not receive anything that you are not. You are all of that thought. And the minute that you stop judging any of it as to which ones you want to receive or not receive is the moment that you will allow yourself to be. You will receive higher and broader versions of thought the more you let go of judgment of any of all of those thoughts, and that is the truth. You do not need a brain to receive a thought. You don't need a chakra to receive a thought. You are source.
Love it. Next question from Candace. Is putting borax and baking soda in water and drinking it safe, and does it help detox the body?
It is safe, and it is a way for detoxing, but there's many things that you need to combine for detoxing, Master, many things. But we will tell you that that is not harmful to your body, for sure, okay? You're going to learn your levels of tolerance. You can play with that as much as you want. We certainly don't want you to take a box full down at the same time, right? But yes, things to help detox your body are very, very beneficial, but we would encourage you to do a massive protocol, combination protocol. It's kind of like you're asking us, well, in order to put makeup on, let's say we're going to put makeup on, should I put powder on? And we'll say, well, yeah, how much makeup do you want to wear? Do you want a foundation, primer, foundation, powder, sealer, shadow, eyeliner, mascara, blush, lipstick, eyebrow liner? Like how much, like what are you asking? Okay, so that is a aspect of doing a little bit of detoxing, and it's very beneficial, but there's much larger protocols to follow depending on what it is you are trying to detox.
Absolutely. And make sure to do your research on what particular borax and what particular baking soda you are putting in your body. Make sure that they are pure and you're not putting more aluminum or heavy metals in your body, because certain brands have that in it. So high end, very high end on those is what you want to look for. Sunny day. Greg, is there a book of crystals and stones inside you? You have so much to share. There probably is. That's how my brain works. Anything I'm passionate about, I'll dive into and just read everything and do whatever I can to figure it all out. And then, I did work in a crystal shop for a while, and yeah, dealing with that all day, every day was amazing and fun, and you just learn stuff.
Yeah, but also your brain is photographic. So your brain is photographic. So you have to explain that to everybody too. Usually Greg can do a card reading for somebody, and years later he can remember how the cards were laid out for that person when he talks to them. Like he's got one of those types of brains that would tend to be of disbelief for most people. So that's also part of that whole statement of, he's a walking encyclopedia. He's actually more than that. He's a Wikipedia, not just an encyclopedia, but it's because of his photographic brain as well.
Which doing detoxes has expanded that. So yeah, detoxing works. It's amazing. There's protocols that you can take and do to get toxins, metals, plastics out of your brain, and your brain capacity will definitely evolve. Not that you need one anyway, right?
Right.
All right, Anoak Temple. I'd like to study neuropathic medicine, but isn't the education just as compromised as the medical industry? I want to make a career of it, but I want to be grounded in truth and healing. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. It's all extremely limited information. So, but what you need, Master, of course, is your certifications, your degrees, all of those credentials. You need to feel confident in your applications. What we will tell you is you just have to go further. You have to go further into expansive energies, into knowing that there's more, into seeking that there's more. As long as you're going into it knowing that this is not finite information. There's no such thing as finite information. So as long as you remain open-minded and continually seek the truth of how something feels, because truth is how something feels, then you are at least on your way into a higher energy and expansive aspect of perspective into all that you choose to be.
Yes, approach it that this may be a truth, but it's not necessarily the only truth.
Right.
Next question from Tara Stara. I'm sorry if that's not how you say it, but it is for me because it's fun to say it that way. I heard a channeler say that everything was created when God sneezed. Is that why we say God bless you after someone sneezes?
We do not agree with that statement in any way, shape, or form. So the reason that people usually say God bless you is they believe that there's some form of a God that lives outside of themselves. So whatever channel being said that is of extremely low consciousness and does not know themselves as the all. So it is of a context through religious programming that a form of a God lives outside of yourself. Science put out that when you sneeze, your body stalls. your heart stops, your brain stops and everything, and that you come close to being dead with your physical body, and so they want God to bless you so you continue to live. That's where that statement came from.
We love your saying is much better, and you're blessed.
And you are blessed.
I love that. All right. Autumn Eastman, every day it's another thing. One day it's mosquitoes being released, the next day it's ticks, etc. How are we supposed to stay positive when they are trying to come at us every day?
Oh, Master, it's more than one thing every day. You have no idea, and thankfully, that it's coming at you in an infinite amount of ways. That is the truth. You are on a prison planet, and they are doing everything to keep you from expanding your consciousness. Bummer, bummer. And it's basically been that way for millions of years, okay? You get to choose to be in joy. That's your choice. That's your privilege. That's your sovereignty. That's your empowered state. So do it. That's what we'll tell you. Do it. You are choosing to either be joyous or not be joyous. It is a choice. We don't care whether you believe us or not. It is, okay? You have the ability to choose differently. You do. So practice it. Practice it every day, and stop participating in the things that you are aware of that are continually programming your brain into negativity. And so grounding yourself, getting grounding sheets, grounding yourself on a daily basis is going to help with all the frequencies that are being thrown at you and help get you into a little bit better perspective or attitude, but your attitude is yours to choose from.
Love it. Sunny Day. Julius, I have a real love story with the trees. They are incredibly generous to me. How can I share this? People generally don't care, or should I just keep it to myself? Thank you.
What is a great reference, Master, is that all frequency is. All frequency is. So you may use the term perhaps more broadly that it is the love frequency that has manifested itself into a tree that I align with. How about that? Okay? So refer to it broader it. Stop calling it a tree because it's not. It's energy. It's energy. So use a broader term of aligning with high frequency energy, and perhaps the ignorant will come along.
Love it. I have a comment on that, if I may.
Tree maker.
You already know. So, a good friend of mine did past life regression on me, and now I know that it was just going sideways instead of back. But one of the lifetimes that I visited, I made trees. That's all I did. I made trees. I love trees. Super obsessed with trees. I made a whole planet of trees, so we had to start over because that didn't work out so well. Then I made this one really fancy tree. Anyway, it was like a half an hour of this journey with trees. So telling your story to people, who cares if they like it? I think it's fun. I think it's cool. It was very vivid for me. I love trees. Trees are amazing. I don't like it when people cut trees down. Kasey's son Taylor hates it when they cut down trees to build whatever.
I think you and Taylor probably made trees together, right?
We probably do.
Yeah, he hates that. He hates the whole idea of communities where they go in and cut trees. Like he loves the East Coast for the size of the trees. That's one of the things that he loves, about living on this side. But yeah, you're right. It is interesting how angry he gets, and he speaks about that all the time. Yeah.
He does. So find your tree people. There are those of us that love trees too, and we could talk about trees for a very long time. So tell your story to people that love trees.
Channel your inner Yul Gibbons. Yul Gibbons?
Yes, Yul Brenner.
Yul Brenner?
So yes, that's awesome. We love it. More people should love trees. All right. Next question from Candace. How do we open our third eye to be more in tune with our intuition, reveal and use our abilities for telepathy, psychic abilities, remote viewing, and
You
etc.?
need to detox. First thing you need to do is detox because you've got a lot of metals there, a lot of fluoride and a lot of heavy metals in that portion of your receptors, your frontal lobes of your brain. So one of the things is is detoxing to get the calcification, reduced, okay? And you get to raise your frequency and do everything to honor your body, to raise your frequency. Everything, everything to raise your frequency.
Yes. There's a lot of questions in here about detoxing and various symptoms from detoxing. So basic, or maybe not so basic. I didn't really understand this until I did that. When you start a detox, you're going to feel worse. You will feel worse because what you're doing is you're killing those parasites. They're releasing toxins into your body, toxins in your brain. They're causing brain fog. They're causing body aches. They're causing this. They're causing that.
You're going to cry.
You're, yes, you're going to cry a lot if you're like me. And then you're going to get mad over the dumbest things. And then you're going to cry because you're mad. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But magnesium baths, and I cannot stress this enough. If you are detoxing, you have to be doing an enema. You have to. And that will flush everything out of your body. So drink distilled water as much as you can tolerate and flush that SHIT out of your body.
Yeah, you have to you have to be taking a binder though to grab the parasites and pull them out. If you're not enemine and you're not using a binder, you're just irritating those parasites and they secrete toxins in a defense mechanism. So
Right.
yeah, they're actually toxifying you more than normal, okay? Because they're in defense mode, okay? They're in survival and defense mode. So during detoxification, you need to drink a binder that's going to grab hold of the parasites for elimination, and you need to be enemine for that elimination because just detox teas and normal release is not going to pull them out of the casing along your intestinal walls in your colon. So they're buried deep in casing in your intestines and your colon, and that's what's feeding the pathway to the rest of your body. And just pooping, taking laxatives, taking detox teas is not going to release that. Enemas flush that out, or colonics or enemas.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay, next question. What is the from the flourishing group? What is the difference between the Anunnaki, the Draco reptilians? How do they correlate? We hear about reptilians running the government and entertainment industry, but what do the Anunnaki do?
So the first thing we want to tell you is you're too locked into costumes and false identifying markers, okay? There are many forms of reptilians, and some of them are not nefarious, believe it or not. The ones that you're speaking of are mostly the nefarious type, which are the draconian reptilians. There are reptilians that don't do much harm. They're kind of stupid. They're not very advanced in anything that they do. And they exist here as part of what do you call that? They're just here, working on their consciousness like everybody else is. And it's the same for every form of species, masters. So you are source, having a human experience. Everything is source, wearing different costumes to experience different aspects of consciousness. And the Anunnaki is the same way. They are extremely low consciousness, just like humans are. They're very deadly, they're very torturous and inhumane or Anunnaki or in reptilian to each other, cannibalistic, just like you are, just like the reptilians are. Okay? And everybody is working on their consciousness. That is the truth. Getting stuck in a level of consciousness that is extremely low in survival mode is what a lot of the low level consciousness beings have done here on this earthship. But that doesn't mean that that species as a whole is just destined to never be able to grow their consciousness. That couldn't be possible because all is source. All is source. So you've got to get out of your brain the individual aspect masters and work more broadly into low consciousness versus high consciousness.
Love that. Joan Schwartz, question. How does Julius define Satan, and will he ever be put out of business, so to speak?
It's just a perspective. It's a worshiping idol, just like you have configured God and Buddha and Id and you know all the others. Okay, it is a perspective. It is a perspective. It is a conjuring of a configuration for control and manipulation. That is the truth. The reptilians mostly came up with that type of configuration, for you. And so does it exist? Nothing exists. Everything is a holographic projection. None of it's real. You're not real. Your neighbor is not real. There is nothing that is real. Everything is a holographic projection of a perspective or a thought. That's what it is. The only reason that it takes hold is because the people worshiping it don't know that. And they've just been programmed to buy into a lie, just like all of you have for God and Jesus and Buddha and all the rest of them. It's truth. And we know we probably just got the biggest strike on YouTube that we possibly could. And we know that we're going to now be bombarded with all the Christian Bible thumpers coming after us, that we just need to find God and Jesus. And we're just telling you, no, we don't. That's long been released. That programming has long been released. So, Master, it is a byproduct of programming, just like all forms of worship are.
Love it. K-Tac, what is behind Australia's killing of the wild Brambie horses, and how can it be stopped?
They do that all over the earth, Master. They do that in Spain. They do that in the western states. In Nevada, they do that. Okay? It's a meat industry. First of all, it's for meat. That's a big piece of it. Okay? And also to kill the spirit of those animals because they're extremely high consciousness. It's right along with the whole whaling thing and the dolphin thing, okay? Is to try to take down the high consciousness beings on the earth.
Next question from Donnie Wan. David Ickel said he will not be reincarnating in human form after this life, as he will be ascending to higher levels. Do we get to choose?
Master, you are the one that chooses everything, and we'll assure you that that's his altered ego speaking, and we'll see. He'll be around another time, that's for sure. For those that are ascending, never speak of where they are, and those of high consciousness never declare that they are. That is your first indicator that he has no idea of who all that he is, and it's a propagated aspect. That is our perspective, and that is our knowing of how the level of consciousness works. But to answer your question, Master, you choose everything. You are source.
Okay. Sunjin Lee, AI takes over the schools. It's like the cabal doesn't want children to learn anything. I can see it's a threat to humans, as no children are encouraged to think anymore. What can be done?
They were never encouraged to think, Master. That's what schools were set up for. They were set up to indoctrinize you, not to educate you. It's never been that way, ever. The only reason they came up with schools were to indoctrinize you, and brainwash you, and formulate you into worker bee and hive mentality. That is the truth.
one last question. Julius, the ozemic epidemic and weight loss drugs of that particular nature. What is that actually about?
That's about transhumanism. They're turning people into transhumans. That's the truth. One DNA manipulation at a time. It's transhumanism and you're paying for it. Wow. We need to get them on our marketing team, don't we?
Yeah, no doubt. We're
It
not.
is classic form of transhumanism. That's the truth. It's a form of extracting your soul. It knocks the soul so energetically out of alignment in its physical costume that it can easily be extracted through frequencies. It is a transhumanism aspect. These people are turning less and less in their ability to be in alignment with their soul. It is possibly the worst breakdown on a molecular structure for your physical costume that they've ever instilled upon you. It is a continual form of continual form of vaccines, and it's killing the brain. And that is the truth.
What's transhumanism?
It's no longer living you organically in a humanoid type of form. It is literally transforming you into a form of a robot through all of the plastics and metals in your body, and also the plastics and metals in your brain, so that you can no longer think for yourselves and you are fully programmable just like a computer.
Love that. And that was the last question of the day.
All right. So Greg Nyman Jr., what kind of deck do you have for everybody tonight? And if any of you want some card pulls and get a little insight maybe for yourselves as to what is going on. So my question to you, Greg, is should you pick maybe a theme for your reading, like a subject matter? So is maybe the subject matter about wealth, finances, work, love relationships, consciousness, what somebody needs to get rid of, maybe what somebody needs to embrace? Like, what are you thinking? What's coming to you as far as, a directive on the way you're going to pull for these cards tonight?
Well, interestingly that you say that. These particular cards is another brand new deck that I've never used before because that was fun last time. These are Trust Your Vibes Oracle cards by, don't want to butcher her name or his name. Again, we don't have any affiliation or whatever. I just thought the cards were cool, so I got them. So I am feeling that pretty much everybody wants to know about wealth or love or relationships of some nature. So I'm not necessarily going to dictate to you what it is. But if I get a pull in one direction or the other, I will say something. But I think that the people will know what it resonates, what direction it resonates. How's that for a non-answer?
I love the way how you just kind of took your responsibility out of that whole question, right? You just
One,
backstepped out of that one, backstepping out of that one, little moonwalked your way out of that one, right? Greg Nyman Jr.,
if
do
you
you have
want,
your cool little wizard pendant on tonight.
I do have my little wizard dude on.
Your dude.
So here's the cards that are on my hat.
Ooh, they're stained glass.
We have the Ace of Pentacles,
Earth.
the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Sun.
Cool.
And then for those of you that would like to see, my little wizard dude.
He's forged. Looks just like Greg.
Forged. I think I'm a little more sunburned than he is.
You're what? You're a little more wet?
Sunburned than he is.
Right?
After the beating I took on the golf course today. Okay. Lots and lots of tree lovers apparently are in our audience, which is awesome.
Tree lovers, right?
Love it. Okay, go time. Go time. Of course, we start at, of course. Oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
What's not working?
My background.
Oh.
Too much green on this card.
Green.
So this is Seek Your Truth. So this particular card is telling you to look deeper. There's a question, it feels love related for you, that is a burning question. And it's telling you to look deeper and trust your intuition. Follow your truth, not necessarily what you're being told. Because that is not the whole truth. Mr. Carl. Let your higher self lead. This is telling you to, kick that alter ego to the curb and trust your intuition and, send me a couple of Tiffany lamps that randomly made it into your possession.
That's right. The one, like, if they happen to randomly be picked up on the side of the road.
Like, who does that? This is awesome. Sunny day. I'm going to take your kitty cat emoji as you want a card reading. If not, oh well, you get one anyway. Okay, this particular card is a very interesting card, and I knew it would come up. Look for the divine.
Ooh, look at the little infinity sign there on it.
A little infinity. We have a dove. We have roses. We have a dolphin. We have the sunshine, the ocean. This is telling you to appreciate everything around you, as well as appreciate everything inside of you, because you definitely don't give yourself enough credit there. Light, shine. Oh, interesting. This one's fun. Let go. Now, this is telling you to take that leap of faith the trapeze artist letting go of her little chair to go to the next one. It's telling you to let go and you'll catch yourself and propel yourself to the next stage.
I think I think letting go is one of the toughest things for us to do.
Oh,
I truly
absolutely.
do. I truly do. I think we are afraid, we need to control something, we don't want to give up that what we think is that power. I think that is the toughest thing, Greg, don't you think? Do you find that is a big point of resistance in your counseling, in your therapy that you do with people?
Letting go, yes, and particularly letting go of something that's bad for you,
Right.
something that is causing you pain, especially if you're empathic. Something, oh, this person, I can fix them, I can make them better, or, you know, I drink because I'm stressed, or, this job is killing me, but I need to do it to pay the bills, all things like that. Um, I may or may not be guilty of all of those, just saying, at one point in my life. But eventually your body will force you to let go.
Yeah. I found, we're so guided all the time, all the time. We just refuse to see it. We're in so much of a controlled aspect. And a lot of times I think it takes almost people reaching that breaking point where either so much sadness or so much difficulty or so much heartbreak that you're in that point. I know that for myself, it took that, and you get into this energetic space of surrendering. It's like it's almost I'm hopeless, so I don't care, right?
Yep,
It's
yep,
almost that energy of surrender where you just let go and you just basically have the screw it. I've got literally nothing else to lose. So I'm just going to go with what's being pointed, directed at me. Because it's obvious when something isn't supposed to be there because it doesn't work, right? It is so obvious when something isn't working. It's so obvious when that struggle, it's like your soul is going not this direction. Go another direction, right? And when we finally get that point of surrender and you follow that, things just line right up. They just show you right where you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to do. But I think it's the hardest thing for us to get to that point. I just
yeah.
wanted to say that.
It's and some of us are so stubborn or hard-headed that you have to get to the point where you physically can't,
Right,
you
right.
know, and you finally surrender, if you will, for lack of a better word, and you're like, you know what? This obviously isn't working, and I'm going to try this. And if that doesn't work out, well, then I can just, I mean, I don't mean to be morbid, but I can just die, or I can just, I have no other option. If this doesn't work, then, I can always end this life and start over. At least that's the point that I got to. And then you're only there not very long usually, and then that shift starts making things better, or you just literally, like, 2 heart attacks, brain tumor, all sorts of fun stuff like that, where you literally have to, and
Yeah.
then
I just
you
think that phrase of, just let it go. It's people just don't understand the depth of that phrase.
no,
The depth of that phrase. They just don't get it. It's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, yeah, you get to that point where that is what happened, and then you're like, wow, right? Yeah, yeah.
feeling a moment to share a beautiful visual that um, I came up with during my coaching. Um, so you have this, for those of you that have ever seen the movie Labyrinth, um, they go to this area and there are these people that just have these junk piles that are on them, just everything under the sun, that they are literally living, walking around mountains of junk. And that's their house, their life, their whatever. And that visually is your baggage that you carry around with you always. And eventually it gets to be too much. Well, for me, in my work in my office, I had a chair in the corner. And what I would do is, I got to the point, I'm like, look, everybody tells me to put this down, to let it go, to quit carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard that. And I'm like, well, everybody keeps saying it, so it's probably possible, right? Sure, let's try this. And so I said, all right, I'm going to take my baggage and I'm going to put it on this chair in the corner of my room. And I envisioned like taking off this big backpacking backpack. And I just set it there for a minute and I was like, okay, no, I need it. I mean, it was like 30 seconds and I'm like, I need it. And then I kept trying that over, a series of probably 2 weeks, a month. And I'd set it there and I'd set it there and I'd set it there. And it got longer. The increments got longer. It got longer until probably about a month. I left it there overnight. And, I'm like, it's there. I can pick it up whenever. And then I left it there overnight and I woke up and I didn't feel groggy. I didn't feel worn down. I didn't feel beat down. And I'm like, okay, what the hell did I do? Like, what's different? And then it retraced and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's different. So then I left it there for a day, 2 days. The third day I picked it back up because, I got in and fight with people that I used to fight with all the time. And then I put it back down. And then I put it down for a week. And then eventually it was 2 weeks. And then eventually it was a month. And then eventually I got to the point of, okay, why is this sitting here? Okay. And then I like, okay, this particular thing, this particular incident, this particular baggage that I'm holding, it's a canteen. Well, I don't need a canteen, so I'm going to take it out to the street and put it in the recycle bin or put it in the trash can, whichever floats your boat better. And then I started doing that piece by piece by piece by piece by piece until the vast majority of it wasn't even in the room with me. And that's, a big, large part of my healing journey thus far. And there are pieces that, I still know they're there, but they're in Utah, but they're still there. So we dig those up, we heal those from afar, slowly and surely, but we whittle it away. So yeah, anyway, that is a visualization that really helped me to let go of things that I didn't even know were there. And then, of course, sessions with yourself and Julius are basically, all right, well, let's go in your brain with a flashlight and look at all the big nasty stuff that you just don't even know is there. So that's fun. But uncovering all of the broken doll heads and Christmas ornaments and all of that's in your brain or in your heart or wherever, your lower back, wherever you carry your stuff, help to clear that away so the bigger things don't look so big.
Yeah.
And that really, really helped.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for sharing that. I didn't mean to divert away from your card readings. My apologies, but I just wanted to make that comment. I just think that letting go is just, it's one that is worth diving into a little bit more.
Absolutely. All right. So we were on the Anoic Temple. And yes, I pulled before that long, long, long discussion. This is very poignant for you. Accept support. You have more support in your life than you think you do. Start accepting it. And even if that support comes from yourself, when you're telling yourself, I don't want to do that, then don't. That is a form of accepting support. If I'd read further, I would have seen that Sunny Day wanted one. All right, Tammy. All right, here is something that is for everyone, and this will literally change your life. Change your life. Expect the best.
Yeah.
We always worry about what if something bad happens, and we never even consider that something great will happen. At best case scenario, we'll go on that vacation and nobody will have a meltdown. That's our best case scenario. Our best case scenario is that we're going to go on this vacation and it's going to be the best vacation of our entire lives. And we're going to choose to move here and it's going to be great. Never even cross that possibility. All right. Autumn Eastman. Listen to your body. Your body is telling you to paint flowers on it like a flower child. Then you can be like Kasey in her 60s shirt. Well, your body is telling you in small ways you need to relax, you need to slow down, you need to, your aches and pains or mean something. Google them. I'm not getting anything that is necessarily life-threatening bad, but there are things that your body wants. Jacqueline. Pay attention. And this is when it said pay attention, I got stopped to smell the roses. So appreciate the beauty all around you. Pay attention to that. Show gratitude for the things that you can in your life, and that will definitely change your outlook for sure. But that was autumn, right?
Right.
Jacqueline. Get grounded.
Oh, yeah.
This is saying a grounded sheet. Get a grounded bed sheet. If you have one, get a new one. They do wear out after a while. After a few washings, they break down. But yes, get grounded. Carry some hematite. Go out in the. For those of you that are new to grounding, if you go out in the grass, walk around barefoot, and you have your cell phone in your hand, you're not doing anything. So, go do that without your cell phone or your music or whatever. Oh, I hate it when it does that.
I had somebody ask me the other day what device I use to listen to music when I go running, and I'm like, I don't wear any device when I'm running. That would be counterproductive to what I'm running for, right? Person just looked at me. They're like, what? They're like, don't you wear what? No, I don't wear anything. I don't wear one of those stupid computer things on my wrist. I don't wear a headset. I'm like, I'm out. That's not, yeah, that would cancel out why I'm running, right? Yeah.
It's funny that we just don't think about that.
Right, right.
Like, we don't think about that. Oh, I
Right.
just my phone and stream some music. It'll be fine.
Right.
All right. Elizabeth Wolf, set healthy limits and boundaries.
Ooh, boundary setting.
Yes. Make a flower garden or realize that you are the flower garden. That's what's coming to me. Go out, go play nature. And boundaries are not a bad thing. Sylvia. Let go. Let it go. That trauma that you're holding on to, you don't need to anymore. That was years ago. Years and years ago, as a matter of fact. Jack.
You look like a card reading shark.
I should have my pinky ring on, or the pinky ring I borrowed from you.
With your hat and your cards in your hat, you just look like a shark.
A card shark? If you start singing Baby Shark, that's okay.
I don't need to. I don't even need to. It's already playing in your brain. Baby.
No. All right, Jack, lighten up. Lighten up. Being here with us, having fun, joking around, like that's a very good start. But your life, none of it's real. It's a movie. Like, have fun with it. We all get too focused and too serious in our lives, Approach the world with childlike wonder. Totally, totally fun. Oh, these are all hand drawn, by the way. I read that on the back of the box.
And now you'll never forget it because of the way your brain works.
That's true. Vendina, good vibrations. Following right along, do something crazy, do something wild, Seriously, like there's a lot of painted bodies in this particular deck. So, I mean, that might be fun. Never know. Do it for yourself. Who cares? All right, Decify. Wealth card for Miss Decify. How did I know? This probably is the best card in the deck because it's purple. Slow down. Purple snail. So slowing down where it comes to wealth is not seeing the forest for the trees. Wealth comes in all forms. I know that sounds super cliche, but it does. It rings true. Once you start showing gratitude and realizing how wealthy you actually are, not monetarily per se, wealth will attract wealth. I know that for my own self. Once I see how abundant I am, money starts flowing in and things of that nature. Flourishing group. These are really pretty cards.
Do you love the smell of victory?
I do love the smell of victory. So listen to your heart.
Oh, that's a nice one.
It is fun. When he's calling for you.
So I have to tell everybody, last night I had my two of my grandchildren spend the night, which is common for me to have them spend the night. And my grandson Wyatt who's the light of my life. He's 8. And he's all into the crystals, and we do energy work, and we do all kinds of cool things. And so when they spend the night before we go to bed at night, we blow up our light. And then of course we say our affirmations, and we go through manifestation and things like that. So when we do that in the bedroom, right, he's got his cot in my room, and he and his sister Robin, we're both spending the night. And I said, okay, you guys ready to blow up your light? Right, so we blow up our light. And I said, okay, Wyatt, you start with the affirmations, right? Wyatt's like, okay. And of course he starts off with, I'm grateful that I have a good soul. And I said, okay, that's great. Yep. And he goes, and I'm grateful for my family and all the love in my life. And I want everybody in the world, to be happy. And I want everybody in the world to have lots of money so they can, have everything they want and do fun things. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, and I love my animals. And I'm like, yeah. I'm in this, we're just in this space. All of a sudden he goes, his last affirmation was, and I love the smell of victory. I just started laughing. I don't think he quite knew what I was laughing so hard about. I'm like, yep, he's 8. He's 8. I thought he was going to say the smell of the chocolate chip cookies we had baked, right? Nope, that's the smell of it. By the way, I like the smell of victory.
Okay.
There we go.
He does say random things. It's
Random
awesome.
things, yeah.
K-Tac. Observe, but don't absorb. I think that's pretty self-explanatory given your situation.
I think that's a little bit of another boundaries type of card.
Totally.
Is my hair getting too small? Is it plenty big still?
No, it's barely on the screen still.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Lindy Paula. Reconsider. That's it. That decision that you just made that you second guessed yourself about. Yeah. Third guess yourself. You were right the first time. You know what that's about. Vendina, I have a favorite tree on a trail I used to run. It always contacts me through other trees and comes back to visit, but I don't want to run, so haha, I just send it love. Ride a bike.
Ride a bike.
Tree.
That's right.
Flourishing group. Look for the divine in all things. And in yourself, especially. Candace.
I get to try out my new running shoes in the morning if it's not raining.
Well, that's exciting.
I have more than one pair of running shoes. Are you aware of that?
I think you do some work for a running company. All right, Candace, work with your healers. And that can be yourself.
Ooh.
Laura. Love it. Bake it till you make it, baby. So this is telling you your thoughts create your reality. So believe in yourself, until you believe in yourself. Or, as we like to say here,
Borrow.
borrow our belief in you until you believe in yourself. Sunjin Lee.
I think you could be playing the Gambler song in the background for you with that hat on. I just thought I would tell you that.
I appreciate your little
Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, right?
gambler.
The Gambler.
Because you got to know when to hold them.
Yeah.
But you also need to know when to fold them.
We're getting you the peacock feather for the other side.
I love it.
It's gonna be shebangin'.
Shebangin'. All right, Sunjin Lee, write it down. Now, this can be your intentions, but for you in particular, I'm getting hit with something that I want you to do on your healing journey and your self-worth journey. I want you to write down 5 things that you like about yourself in the morning and 5 things you like about yourself in the night. And I don't care what they are. I don't care if it's I like that I have brown hair. I like that I'm, 5 feet tall, or I like that I wore a green shirt today. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. They can be as silly or as specific as you would like. And I want you to write them down on a post-it note or get a dry erase marker and write it on your mirror so you can see them. And I want you to do that twice a day, morning and night, for the next 30 days.
What's one of the things that you like about yourself today, Greg Nyman Jr.?
One thing that I like about myself today is that I have banana hands.
This that you what?
I have banana hands.
You do have banana hands. It is so true.
And that I'm tall.
Yeah. Wyatt said that he thinks you might be the tallest man on the planet.
That's awesome.
He wants to be as tall as you. He says, I want to be as tall as Greg, Grandma. And I said, I know, sweetheart. Maybe.
He'll be taller. I think he will be. All right. A lot of people are loving wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Greg. This was a gem. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So helpful for me, the visualization. Sunny Day is saying you're both a huge support to us. Thank you. Love it. So grateful for the message. Thank you. I need to do something fun. A lot of people love the smell of victory. Oh, love it. Wyatt bringing the future to now.
Yeah.
People asking how we found each other. Actually, Kasey did a event at the crystal shop that I worked at. They were they did events a couple of times a month. They drive up and do live workshops, and I went to one, and then was just hooked on Julius and the teachings and Kasey and the tribe ever since. And after that, I started going to the workshops whenever they would come up. I went to a couple of retreats. That they had at the property. And then, when Kasey was moving to Georgia, I just got a strong feeling that that's where I needed to be for my conscious journey.
That you are lying. Now you're just lying. In fact, if you look closely, your pants are probably on fire right now.
Oh, You tell her that.
So yeah, so I won't be
Frozen.
overly long elongated on this, but uh, I've said this before. Yes, everything that Greg said was, yes, he came to the retreats. We were getting to know, I was getting to know him. We had a kind of a group of people that we hung out with, Utah people, Sue, of course, my team, retreat people, and things like that. And when I got hit with my trauma, uh, Greg was there. That's in an amazing way. So I got hit, my world got ripped to shreds, and Greg caught me, just caught me. And so the therapy that he helped provide for me, the insight, the support, the collaboration was unbelievable, unbelievable. Just in his gentle, very strong, very dedicated way. I called this man 14, 15 times a day, bawling my eyes out all through the night when I couldn't sleep. He would go on runs with me at 3 in the morning when I couldn't sleep, and I told him I was going running, and he would make me carry my phone and talk to him while I went running. So that's where the friendship was so intense and so powerful. So Greg, I credit Greg with possibly literally helping to save my life. He talked me off a cliff more than once where I considered ending my life this time around. I was in so much pain, so much heartache, so much pain, and Greg was there. And so that was unbelievable. That was it. I mean, our friendship was, sealed the deal at that point. Of course, we laugh and know that it's over many lifetimes, of course. And that's it. So Greg's my guy, and the friendship is unshakable, unshakable. And so that's what has happened between Greg and I, and our relationship and our friendship over the last 2.5 years. So that's where that intensity between, and the fun and the ease that you see, between us. But prior to almost 3 years ago, it was a few years of Greg being a student, a friend, with kind of the people that we hang out with Julius, at the retreats and things like that. And he doesn't say those things, and I understand that, but I proudly speak of those things that, he was there. He and a handful of people, and the students, of course, and Julius, of course, is everything that became so evidential to me, in this time, and everything transformative, from there. So that's also what I wanted to say.
Love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Um, we have a new person asking a question for Julius. Do you want them to send it into support, or do you want to
Yeah.
ask?
No, let's send it in support. Thank you for joining us. That segment is past. We're into now with the cards with Greg, and you can either send that question into support, and that Greg will pick that up for next week's show, or please, please, please join us live and ask it on the show next week.
All right. All right. Would you like cards?
I think we've spent a lot of time tonight. What do you think? I think we should wrap it up. What are
Let-
your thoughts? Are you going to pull a card? I know you're going to pull a card, right? Do you
Well, I
know
don't.
why?
Well,
Because I put the Baby Shark song in your head.
yeah, for the next 6 months. Thanks for that.
I do want to say this really quick while you're shuffling, guys. I am on John Burgos' show Tuesday. So excited to be with John. It's on the 9th. Sorry, 9th or the 11th. I'm not sure. Wait, I think it's Thursday. I think it's Thursday the 11th.
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Sorry, Thursday the 11th. Check the website, Channeling Joyous, so you can get your links for that show. It's going to be an amazing interview with John, and unleashing a new package and a new process from Julius. So please check us out this week. I look forward to having you guys on there. And John always lets people ask some questions. So you guys climb on there and ask some questions of Julius and enjoy the interview, please. I'm very excited to be with John again.
And that is Beyond the Ordinary is how you can look that up. If you don't want to go through the website, you can go to beyondtheordinary.com, John Burgos, and find it that way as well.
Yeah.
Much love from you guys. Thank you for your support. Do what you love.
Ooh, I do what I love. Channel Julius, right? I'm doing what I love.
Channel Julius, run and play golf. And
Yeah.
hang out with Wyatt because he loves the smell of victory. So funny.
All right.
People are saying Sandra Townsend says she's glad that you didn't give up, Kasey. And thank you to Greg. I'm glad Kasey didn't give up either. It was close. But we all have been there.
Yeah.
All right. Without further ado, that was the 2-hour show for this week.
Thanks everybody for being with us. We love you. I hope I have the chance to interact with you this week. Don't forget the class starts tomorrow. Check out the website, channelingjulius.com, Facebook page, Channeling Julius through Kasey is the Facebook page, Awakening Network YouTube channel, Channeling Julius YouTube channel, Instagram, and what's the other one? TikTok. Please climb on, guys. Climb on, share those videos. It really gets us out. Really gets us out. We love you so much. Greg Nyman Jr., for those people out there that want a more extensive session with you. Greg specializes in Lenormand tarot card readings. It is a full spread reading. It's a projection of 3 months for your life. It's unbelievable, as well as several others. The gregortroll@gmail.com. And Greg will give you a special rate when you let him know that you found him on the show, and give him the opportunity to bring some insight to your life, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. All our love to you.
Love you. Thank you for being here. See you next week.